Ted, we met a few years back at one of these very conferences, and we talked about this project, the Pickering Airport project, which, curiously, I remember hearing about as a student in university, and that's been a few years ago, maybe a couple of decades ago, but it's been a project long in the making, or long in the planning. Where has it come? Where is it going? And what's your prospects for seeing something on the ground and able to receive an airplane?
Okay. Well, I, like you, heard about it a long time ago. I grew up in the region of Durham, and in 1972, the same year I graduated from university, the government expropriated 18,000 acres. And 47 years later, they still haven't built it. Things are better. Basically, what has happened, especially in the last, let's say, 8-9 years, is the government has proactively done studies, one in 2010, another one in 2016, and one in 2018, which they haven't released. But we know all of them say build the airport. And in fact, the time has actually come. If you go back to the 70s and the 80s, there really was no justification. Give the government full credit for expropriating the land, but the airport was not needed.
Well, they certainly wouldn't be able to do it now.
Yeah, they couldn't find it. But what we've seen now is that sometime around 2027, as early as 2027, but no later than 2037, is that the existing commercial airports in the Toronto area, and that would be Billy Bishop, Pearson, Hamilton, and even the region of Waterloo, by 2027, they're maxed out. Even the fact that they're going to spend billions of dollars, millions of dollars, billions of dollars to get there, that's it. And the CEO of the GTAA, Howard Eng, has finally come out this year and said, this is it. We're going to hit capacity. You need to start planning for Pickering Airport.
Now, some people have compared it to London. So each one of those London airports has a different role to play. Heathrow, Gatwick, London City. So it's a slightly scaled down version of London, but what role do you see a new Pickering Airport playing in relation to those other airports, including Pearson?
That's actually, Curtis, a great question, because when we first started it, back in 2008, started studying it, we're going to get in there and we're going to compete with Pearson. And it didn't take us too long to realize that's a really stupid idea. We will not be, even though there are other people out there that believe it. So
you compete in a very narrow segment, and a very narrow overlap.
Yeah, right? And basically what we hit upon, I started looking at airports around the world, and I came to the conclusion that Toronto Pearson is Heathrow. Billy Bishop is London Centre. And so what's Pickering? Pickering is Stansted, although it might be Gatwick. But that is the relationship. The numbers are a little different. Gatwick is, 45 million passengers, where Pickering is going to be 15. Maybe in the super long term it'll be 25, but that's the game they're playing. But that's the role. And so Pickering would be origin, destination, point-to-point, low-cost carrier, really no connecting, cargo. What we think is a great cargo hub. And the other thing is, with other projects that I've done separately from Durham Gateway, there is a real dearth and a loss of general aviation and corporate aviation. I was actually involved in doing the study work that's actually going to close down an airport in the general aviation airport. So I see Pickering having a very large general aviation, commercial aviation, not commercial, corporate aviation basis, but mostly probably 80% of it is passenger travel, commercial passenger travel.
What about commercial manufacturing, industrial?
Well, here it's actually great, because if you look at the size of the land that the government has retained for this property, and they're calling it an airport, you really need less than half of it for a super airport, a really spacious airport, and you can have as much as 1,400 net hectares of land. This is buildable land for businesses. And so we think there is about 400 hectares of direct airside access. And yet around that, you can start to build, much like they've got in Pearson, you can have other businesses that maybe not airport related, but they value being close to an airport, or they value being close to their customer who values the airport.
Yeah.
So we think that if you look at Pickering as really an airport-based multimodal transportation hub and an advanced enterprise zone, this has huge regional economic benefits, tens of thousands of jobs.
What's the nearest e-commerce distribution center in the Greater Toronto area?
I don't know, but I do know that Markham is sometimes referred to as the San Jose of Ontario. So, because they have more than 200 IT jobs. So, but as for e-commerce, I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
Because you have to think that e-commerce is not. We're only scratching the tip of the iceberg, and you see Amazon and Alibaba and others not only developing distribution hubs, but they're also considering developing their own airports, developing their own flight capacities. And you have to think a place like Toronto, Pearson, isn't going to be giving up a passenger slot for too many cargo slots as they get closer to the capacity. They have to start deciding what to shed from their core business, and you would also have to think that distribution-wise, that's a good opportunity.
Well, you remember that Google was out looking for a new headquarters.
That's right.
Their second headquarters. Part of the pitch for the GTA did rely on the fact that Pickering is a place you could build, the city of Pickering, but they wanted basically access to a commercial airport within 45 minutes. And part of the pitch from Pickering was, it'll be across the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was no, they didn't win, but the point is that's how it was
certainly in the plans. So, well, certainly we wish you luck. It's been a project long in the making. As you said, the government had the foresight to set the land aside.
Yeah.
Now I guess the real question is there political will? And we know minority governments don't make big decisions, but maybe if it's such a compelling one, even across the aisle, we'll see some positive results.
Well, I'm going to keep pushing. They've let me down in the past, but I'm going to keep pushing because I think the time is right.
Well, sometimes just smart ideas go beyond politics, right?
Yep.
So,
excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.